Right now on Hoosier News Source, we have an update on the Bluebird Nightclub's one-day closure, and we hear the latest on in-person classes this fall with IU spokesperson Chuck Carney.
And I have warmer weather as well as the game day forecast for our IU men's basketball team. Hoosier News Source starts now.
Hello and welcome to Hoosier News Source. I'm Carly Rasmussen. The Bluebird Nightclub is working on new COVID-19 safety measures just days after iOS TV News showed the Monroe County Health Department video from inside the bar. Last week on Hoosier News Source, we showed you a video of a large group of people not wearing masks or social distancing inside the Bluebird. On Thursday, the bar voluntarily shut down for one day to work with the health department on a new COVID-19 safety plan. Health Department Administrator Penny Caudill says there are plenty of ways for businesses to make sure patrons follow COVID guidelines.
Staff training, making sure that the staff know what the regulations are, that the staff have the skills and have been trained to talk to patrons. And if we're talking about a bar, how to talk with patrons who may have been drinking a little too much.
Bluebird owner David Kubiak told us over email that the nightclub is still working out the best ways to improve COVID-19 safety. He says it's difficult to put on live performances during the pandemic. According to the CDC, over 96 million vaccines have been administered, but people across the nation are still struggling to secure a vaccination appointment. HNS reporter Anna Black spoke to students in Kentucky, helping those who still need the vaccine.
Many people have struggled signing up for COVID-19 vaccines, especially the elderly.
You know, I am not in a government office, I'm not in the healthcare industry, but it's heartbreaking to see how long it's taken, how the stress of some of these senior citizens. Are they not going to be able to get it because they don't have access to computers, they don't have internet? So I do hope that there's some organizations out there for those that cannot navigate this on their own.
For two high schoolers at Sacred Heart Academy in Louisville, Kentucky, they have done just this.
We've been able to kind of act as like a tech support for elderly people in the process of registering for their vaccine. We've made templates with screenshots for like the different websites on how to sign up, and we'll generally just kind of send those out, and the emails are pretty quick to respond to. But then the phone calls, we can kind of direct people throughout the process, but we don't actually sign anybody up. It started off with our grandparents. We helped them sign up, and we realized we started helping their friends, and we realized it was a universal need in the community. So we made a flyer, and we made a Facebook and an Instagram, and then the flyer kind of just like blew up a little bit. But so we started an email address and a phone number. So we've just been getting emails and calls since then.
They spend a few hours each day responding to phone calls and emails, and since they've gotten started, they have received over 1,000 emails and a little over 800 phone calls.
I think that the process could be dumbed down a little bit and could be made shorter and easier for them.
For iUS TV, this is Anna Black.
As of Tuesday, the Indiana State Department of Health said people 55 years and older can now sign up to get the vaccine. For information on how to schedule vaccine appointments in Bloomington, you can visit the website co.monroe.in.us. After a year of attending classes over Zoom, IU students will finally return to the classroom next fall. IU medical and public health experts say that by fall, IU will see a return to mostly normal operations. All the COVID-19 precautions that were put in place by the university this year will most likely still apply in the upcoming academic year. The university plans to continue random mitigation testing, but on a lower level. Wearing a mask while in class or in close proximity to others will still be required.
In some cases, of course, hands-on experience literally is very important. So all of those things are things that we do want to get back to because we recognize that it is important.
The university says the return to normalcy is dependent on how many IU students and staff receive the vaccine before fall semester. Indiana is known as the state of basketball, and what better way to showcase that than by having all of March Madness happen in the Hoosier State. The NCAA men's basketball tournament will take place in Bloomington, Indianapolis, and West Lafayette. IU's Assembly Hall is one of the arenas having games, but only 500 people will be allowed to attend. The NCAA is only allowing up to 25% capacity for games in Indy, and teams will remain in a bubble. Hotels like the Marriott are dedicating certain floors and areas just for the teams. Coaches and players will also have required COVID-19 testing. March Madness starts Thursday, March 18th. Last Tuesday, the university shocked the student body with an announcement concerning 2021 spring graduation. An email from the Office of University Events was sent to all students confirming that spring commencement will be in person. However, the message noted that ceremonies are strictly open to graduates only. While some students are excited about the news, others still have their concerns.
But now they're going to be able to see me, and I know some of my teachers that I had in a high school would love to see me graduate, and I could just send them a link to see me graduate.
But I feel like if we're doing taking protocols for, again, the sporting events and even in-person classes, I think there should have been a little bit more thought put into this, because I don't know, not everyone's interested in sports, but everyone here is interested in graduating.
Although there are mixed feelings about the announcement, this came as a surprise to most about how they would spend their last semester during a pandemic. Coming up on Hoosier News Source, we get the latest on the new IU government seats dedicated to multicultural organizations. And Caroline Clare joins us with this week's forecast. Stay with us. Welcome back to Hoosier News Source. Caroline Clare has the latest on this week's warmer weather. Caroline?
Thanks, Carly. Before we get into this week's weather, let's take a look back at how February ended. So for our temperatures, we had an average high of 34 and an average low of 18. This February was the 14th coldest February for the U.S. as a whole in our history. But most notably here in our precipitation, this is rain and snowfall included. Our average was about 16 inches here in Bloomington, which is almost 9.5 inches more precipitation than we usually see this time of year. As we work into March, we have warmer weather ahead, including for this Saturday's IU men's basketball game against Purdue. With the game time at 2 p.m., it'll be a beautiful day, mid-40s throughout the whole day. No chance of precipitation. It'll be a great day. Go check out the Purdue game on ESPN and ESPN2. Now, let's take a look at what we can expect for the rest of the week. Like I said earlier, beautiful week. We have 50s and 40s. However, if you are going out late, make sure to be aware as these temperatures can dip beneath the freezing line. And going early into next week, beautiful temperatures, even getting into the 60s as we head into Monday and Tuesday with just more cloud cover as some precipitation chances will increase as we get into next week. Get out and enjoy this beautiful sunshine this week, and don't forget to cheer on the Hoosiers on Saturday. Carly, back to you.
Thanks, Caroline. In January, IU student government approved an additional 31 seats in Congress for multicultural organizations on campus. If a group wants to fill a seat, they must sign in a petition and elect a representative from their organization. Congress has tried a proposal like this in the past, but now IU can start to see implemented change in the coming months. With the help of the Rainbow Coalition, groups like Latinos Unidos is deciding who will represent them in IUSG after a long wait for this bill.
Honestly, as a student of color, I would have never thought it would have happened while I was here because, again, it's a very primarily white institution. So I'm very glad that that happened. It's mainly more of what policies are going to get passed because, again, they still have that voting power.
IUSG said they plan to have the new seats filled by the end of March. 6 years after IU announced its plan to build the new Academic Regional Health Center, the first students were finally welcomed late last month. The $557 million facility is designed to be both the hospital and an academic campus under one roof. The in-house health sciences building opened with the start of in-person classes on February 8th. IU School of Social Work and Medicine, along with the IU Hearing Clinic and the IU Speech Language Clinic, now see patients there. The main hospital plans to receive receive patients in late 2021. And that's all for this week's episode of Hoosier News Source. Thank you so much for watching, and to learn more about this week's stories, you can find us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at iOS TV News. From Bloomington, Indiana, I'm Carly Rasmussen. We'll see you next time.